Welcome to History Bite 101, your daily bite-sized history stories, full of surprising facts, epic events, and fascinating figures. Today we continue the story of Napoleon Bonaparte, his greatest triumphs and the mistakes that led to his downfall. By 1812, Napoleon stood at the height of his power. He controlled much of Europe and commanded one of the largest armies ever assembled. But one rival remained unconquered: Russia. Tsar Alexander. I had once been an ally, but tensions had been growing. Trade disputes, political mistrust, and competing ambitions made conflict inevitable. Napoleon decided to act first. He launched an invasion with over 600,000 soldiers, the largest army Europe had ever seen. He expected a swift campaign, a decisive battle, and a quick victory. But the Russians refused to fight on his terms. Instead, they retreated into their vast territory, destroying crops, villages, and supplies along the way. This scorched earth strategy left Napoleon's army without essential food or shelter. Soldiers grew weak, horses died, and morale dropped. Despite these challenges, Napoleon pressed on, determined to reach Moscow. In September 1812, he finally arrived. The city was almost deserted, and soon fires broke out, destroying much of Moscow. Napoleon waited, hoping Tsar Alexander would negotiate. But no surrender came. Then winter arrived. Temperatures dropped far below freezing. Snowstorms hit entire regiments and supplies froze. Soldiers suffered from frostbite and starvation, while horses perished by the thousands. Napoleon had no choice but to retreat. The withdrawal became a nightmare. Out of the 600,000 soldiers who invaded, only a small fraction returned alive. Europe saw Napoleon's vulnerability. Austria, Prussia, Russia, and Britain formed a new coalition to challenge him. In 1813, he faced a decisive defeat at the Battle of Leipzig, known as the Battle of Nations. His army was now smaller, less experienced, and worn out. By 1814, enemy forces marched into Paris. Napoleon was forced to abdicate the throne and was exiled to Elba, a small island in the Mediterranean. But Napoleon was not finished. In early 1815, he escaped from Elba. Troops sent to stop him instead joined him, and within weeks he reclaimed control, a period known as the 100 Days. Europe prepared for one final confrontation, the Battle of Waterloo. In June 1815, on the muddy fields of Belgium, Napoleon faced the British and Prussian forces. The rain-soaked battlefield made movement difficult, and timing was critical. At moments, victory seemed possible, but when Prussian reinforcements arrived, the tide turned. Napoleon's army collapsed. This was his final defeat. Exiled to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic, he lived the rest of his life under strict supervision. Cut off from Europe, he spent his final years writing memoirs and reflecting on his life. In 1821, Napoleon Bonaparte died at the age of 51. From a young outsider mocked for his accent and small stature, he rose to control most of Europe. He reshaped borders, laws, and governments. Yet his story reminds us that even the greatest ambition can be undone by one critical mistake.